Did you finally get that present you've been asking for? Did you know that you might need to update your homeowner's policy to make sure it's covered properly? When you get your policy in the mail, it's pretty lengthy, right? There's a lot of words in here, and all this stuff in here is not saying that they are being overly generous with their coverage for your policy. Really, what this policy is doing is it's trying to provide the most coverage at an affordable price for the vast population of people. Now, everybody has different circumstances, so that's when you need to know what your policy covers, what it doesn't, and if you need to endorse your policy to provide the coverage that you need. This way, the policies end up being affordable for everybody, and everybody can tailor the policy a little bit to what fits their needs best. So if you have something that you got this year that is of higher value, there are some limits in your insurance policy that I want you to be aware of. First, collectibles. Now this includes sports cards. Think American Pickers or Antiques Roadshow. You see people go up and they have these dolls or plates, and then they get appraised for these astronomical numbers. Now, what you got might not be a giant number, but there is a limit in your policy that's going to cap it at only $1,000 of coverage. And now that's not $1,000 per item. That is $1,000 for all of your collectibles or sports cards or sports memorabilia. So if you do have a big collection, we're going to tell you how to get that added to your policy. Same thing, guns and related equipment. There's a $2,000 limit in most policies. And if I know anything, people who own a gun don't just own one gun. They typically own multiple guns. Jewelry and watches, $1,000 limit. That doesn't get you very far. So like I said, this is not a per item limit. This is a total limit. So if you had a watch that's worth $500, if you had diamond earrings that say $1,000, you're at $1,500 already, and that's not including wedding bands, engagement ring, necklaces, bracelets, anything else that falls under there. So if you do have items that's going to exceed that limit, you definitely want to have it covered. Now, you see there's asterisks next to all these items. These limits are typical for an unendorsed homeowner's policy. Most of the policies that we write are endorsed, and the coverage limits are increased automatically. If you're concerned whether or not you think you might be going over that limit for any of these items, let us know and we can tell you if you're covered properly or not, or if we need to do anything different. So now if you do exceed these limits, what do we need to do? Well, we want to increase your coverage. We want to make sure that you are covered properly. So we're going to need a few items from you. We're going to need a detailed description of the item, and then we're going to need a receipt of purchase in the last 7 years or an appraisal within the last 7 years. Now, if you bought something 7 years ago and you have the receipt, say you bought it for $3,000, well, today it's worth $5,000. I would say get a current appraisal for it so we can list it at the current valuation for you on your insurance policy, because they're only going to value it based off of what your receipt says or what your appraisal says. So I hope you got the gift that you were looking for. And if you need to increase your coverage, feel free to contact us and we can walk you through it.